So, do you want to tell me a bit about STEM Revolution, what you're doing at the show here?
Yeah. So STEM Revolution is, we do training for schools. We help schools figure out what does STEM look like, what does STEAM look like, what does STREAM look like for their school. And we do training, and then we do consulting with leadership teams to help figure out how to implement.
And you're doing workshops on the stand here, aren't you?
Yeah, we're doing some workshops, about one every hour here. Various topics, but really talking about what we believe about STEM. So, yeah, and what we believe about STEM is, we really believe that kids, in order to be successful in life, they have to solve complex problems, they have to collaborate, and they have to communicate. And if they can do those things, we just know, we all know successful people, and pretty much all of them can do those three things. So what we try to do is help schools figure out, what does that look like? What does that look like in practice, in school, to do those three things, to work on those skills, and to be more ready for the real world.
And I think that's so important, isn't it? Because I think STEM and STEAM are such vital parts of the curriculum nowadays.
Yeah, it's becoming more and more important. One of the cool things about our work with the UAE and the Ministry of Education here is the value that they place on creating kind of the next group of innovators. What we always say is, imagine if every kid leaves your school knowing what problem they want to solve and who they want to help, and the confidence to go tackle some of these problems. Imagine the impact that would have on your community. And the vision of the UAE is so spot in line with that. They want to create the next group of innovators. They want to be the ones solving the problems for their community, for this country, and then for the world.
And I think one of the things that's come up time and time again here is the fact that, often educators are teaching students for jobs that might not exist, and that's a real challenge.
Yeah, it sure is. And that's why, here's what we know, and I'll go back to it. We know that if people can solve complex problems, they can communicate and they can collaborate, they're going to be okay in almost any job that I can possibly think of. Jobs will continue to move towards machine done, and the old days of factory workers is coming obsolete. But we know that we will continue to need people who can creatively solve problems. So how in school can we make that more real? Because I like to use the phrase A plus B equals C is just not that relevant to school, to the real world anymore. Because we know stuff. We all know, we have the knowledge. Now we need the creative problem solvers to solve the new problems, because there will always be new things.
Okay. And what would you hope that what would be your advice for teachers coming to the stand, asking questions, getting demos, finding out more? What would be your advice?
Yeah. Well, my advice is find a way to make learning as real as possible. As real, as much as like work as it is possible. I think people can relate really well when you say, is your work, are the problems you're solving at work really simple? Are they A plus B equals C? No, they are complex. So how do we best prepare kids for that? Give them complex problems. Help facilitate problems that don't have one right answer. And along the way, they work on things like collaboration and communication, all these things that we know are important.
So I guess it's about transferable skills to make people as adaptable as possible.
Yeah, and it's about making them adaptable so they can innovate. We want to create innovators, and companies, more and more companies are saying, I need innovators. I need people that'll solve the next round of problems that I'll have, because they're coming.
And what would you say are some of the key trends that you think will happen in education this year?
Yeah. Well, I hope that everyone continues to go down this trend, because it's what's really, I went down this path because I just kept saying, what do kids need to be successful in life? And people kept saying the same things, and the questions to that the answers to that question are very much the same by everybody. People know what makes successful people, and it's not just knowing a bunch of content. So I think the countries are continuing to realize, because they're contacting us, that we need innovators. We need people, our citizens, to solve the next problems.
And I think that's particularly important in emerging markets as well. Some of our shows are in different countries, and engaging teachers to do that, I think, is so important.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting it from all over. We're getting, inquiries saying, education is super important, but not only that, because it's important everywhere. Everyone knows that, but we need to create the next round of innovators. And I think we're seeing trends of that all over the place. And to be honest, UAE is really leading the way in saying, like, this is top priority. And that's evident by the work that's happening within the Ministry of Education with their STREAM program.
And what's been your favorite thing of GESS so far?
Yeah, well, this probably. No, I love talking to people. And I love talking about the purpose of education and why, man, I just care about kids everywhere. So it's fun talking with people. I mean, we've had conversations from all over the place today, and just saying, how can I help? How can I help? And how can we think about school a little differently? And change is some of the topics I just love talking about with anybody. So.